in the middle of Park Avenue Armory, they built a museum. But unlike a museum where you just look at the art, like I'm looking at this beautiful Goya painting right now, this is not a museum. This is an antique show where you can buy all the pieces of art. Well, there might be a few exceptions, but you can buy almost everything at the Winter Show. Today I'm joined by Jenny DeWitt of Townie Tourist. I'm Ariel with Urbanist, and we're gonna walk around all this beautiful place and learn about the different pieces, talk with a few of the vendors and exhibitors, and also show you some secret treasures. So Jenny is going to be my host
Hey
today.
everyone, yeah.
And how's everything going? Let's go this way.
Okay, we're gonna go this way, which is, can we just talk about where we are first?
Yes,
So
set the stage.
all right.
And you can stay there. Yeah.
If you want to kind of look around, you can actually see the lights on in the window in the Armory building up there. So this is the Winter Park Armory, Park Avenue Armory, and it was the home of the 7th Regiment. And it is, didn't you tell me it is the only privately owned or largest privately owned armory in the entire country?
In America, yes,
In America.
That's correct. Out of like the 5 or 6 armories that are in New York City.
So we're here, and what's really interesting about the Armory, not just for the Winter Show, which is an amazing event, it is a location, it's an event location for unconventional events. So if you have an idea, like a Cirque du Soleil level of idea for your event or fundraiser or wedding, gala, anything you want to do, this venue will help you do it. It is so massive.
And it's huge, yeah.
Look at the ceiling. Look at how far back it goes. It is, isn't it almost a whole city block? I believe it's a whole city block.
It's an entire city block, yeah.
So this is, if you look up, actually one of my favorite sites is nycgo.com, and you can see a little bit of the history of the Park Avenue Armory there. But the Winter Show this is its 66th year, and when you come to the Winter Show, the entry fee is $30 to get in. It's set up beautifully with individual booths and stalls and vendors. We're going to take a little tour, but every single penny, every single cent is for the East Side House Settlement, which really combines art and education, helping Bronx and Manhattan students move into the world, graduating from high school, moving into college, learning trades. It's really fantastic. I think over 500,000 kids have graduated because of this organization.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
All right, I'm ready to walk around. Let's go around the Winter Show. All right, lead the way, Jenny.
We're gonna wander.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wander and see what we see.
And as we're walking around, feel free to point out whatever you should look at.
First of all, we need to look at this amazing Italian chair. It's from the 50s.
Wow.
And it is, of course, Italian design is some of my favorite design.
And it's by?
Gianfranco Frattini.
And how much does it cost?
It's $35,000.
Oh, great. Okay. That's
just for one.
That's perfect.
Not a pair. Just for one.
And here we have a Robert Indiana.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Robert Indiana. There was a fantastic Indiana exhibit at the Tampa Museum of Art recently, and I have not seen this piece before. Probably because it belongs to a private collector.
Yeah.
You can actually buy it for $350,000.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Robert Indiana is famous for the love sign.
Yes.
That's all in many cities around the world.
Yeah. And then we move into from like mid-century modern to a little more classic.
Ah, I see.
Right? A little colonial feeling.
So this is the Carlswell Rush Berlin Incorporated.
Oh, we missed our favorite wallpaper.
Yeah. Oh, right here.
The tiger wallpaper is so good.
Gorgeous tiger wallpaper.
They haven't
which is not part of like the selling.
Right.
Yeah.
They haven't set up the booth yet. This is the before, right?
Yeah.
But the tiger wallpaper is amazing.
It's amazing.
Kentshire, New York.
And the price ranges here are pretty big as well.
Yeah, I think they can be. I think it's really for every level of collector. Many times there are booths that have accessible goods. So if you're just getting into collecting, or you're just getting into, finding things that you love, like this little monkey right here.
Which one? Oh, okay, I see.
I can probably afford that.
Oh, I love this statue.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous.
Porcelain, ceramics.
And what era are we looking at right now?
Probably all over. I'm looking at these Chinese bird tureens, 1777.
1777. Wow.
Beautiful little bird, and they open and you eat out of them. Who doesn't love like animal-shaped dishes that you eat out of?
Exactly. Especially when it's an antique, you can justify a lot of these. Which today, if you were to buy a modern day version of a lot of these antiques, it would look a little bit maybe ostentatious or a lot. It'll look like a lot.
Or ironic.
Or ironic.
Yes.
But when you buy an antique, there's a story behind it, which I think adds some value to having one.
And the story too, what's interesting about the winter show is that you are not looking at necessarily museum pieces that are untouchable or unownable and have already
transcended value.
Right.
Yeah.
Transcended value. You can actually, this is a great entryway if you're thinking about becoming a collector of ceramics or art or furniture or jewelry or textiles or fabrics, like whatever you're thinking you're interested in. This is like a great jumping off point. And speaking to these vendors and individual owners of the pieces is fantastic, because you learn and you feel their passion when they talk about. It's very different than a gallery or museum.
And we're going to chat with a few. Oh wow, beautiful lamp. Commission lantern for the Central Savings Bank. 73rd Street and Broadway. Oh, interesting.
1927.
A Manhattan cast iron lamp right here.
Look at the animal heads.
Yeah, dragons.
They have different horns. Each one has different horns.
Wow.
There's a whole fountain.
Indeed.
Outdoors, so if you're thinking about, you need like a giant urn for your garden.
Do you need to know about art in order to come here?
You don't actually need to know about art to come here. You need to know what you like, right? You don't, maybe it'll surprise you when you come here. You'll find out that you suddenly are drawn to Sphinx-shaped garden ornaments, right? And this is, suddenly you have to have this, right? So the thing about art and collecting is you'll feel this pull towards something that you just, you love. And you don't have to know about art to feel that. That's what's so amazing about art.
So there's, I would say, don't follow your intellect precisely first and foremost. Follow your intuition, your feeling when it comes to art.
Yeah, and how it makes you feel. Because it should make you feel excited or okay, so here's a good example for me.
Cool.
If I look at this booth, lovely, lovely, incredible, I am fascinated by this picture, right? Oh my gosh, okay. It's called The Running Man, Thomas Benrimo. Oil on canvas, 1887 to 1958. So he lived at a period when Expressionism, Cubism, modern art was happening, all kinds of changes going on in the art world, and this was his way of expressing it. But I love the darkness and how the running man is, he's got the light behind him. I just love that. Now, I don't know, I mean, I have a history of knowing about art, but I just like the way it looks. I like how he's looking behind him and he's running. I like his boot. Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if you don't know too much about art, after you buy an antique, you can dig into the history. It's kind of an adventure.
It's like a mystery.
Of its own.
And there's, even though there are so many different things, it's interesting to know that you could find something that's uniquely just yours. No one else would have it. I like how they're setting up
So this one I'm really intrigued by.
Okay.
Let's go inside. Ancient Egypt,
I gotta stay away
Greece,
from the
and
sparkly stuff. I can't even look at the sparkly stuff.
Hey.
So beautiful.
Oh, interesting. Is that one of the canisters where they used to?
Yes, it's called a canopic jar. And
Canopic
they would
jars,
Put, one of the organs that they had removed from the deceased before the person was mummified.
Just one organ?
They had 4 canopic jars. There was one for the liver, one for the lungs, one for the intestines, and I can't remember the fourth one.
Brain?
No, the brain was
Stomach.
Heart?
Stomach and the intestines.
Stomach.
I see.
No, the heart was kept inside.
Ah.
Yeah.
And where did this come from originally?
It's an Egyptian from an Egyptian culture.
But which area in Egypt?
We have no idea.
Oh. Beautiful.
Doesn't say on the bottom.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Not in this particular case. No. But
So-
it's for a guy called this has got the head of one of the 4 sons of Horus,
Oh, wow.
and
Yep.
he was called Imseti. So they were 4 sons. They each looked after a particular part of the body of the deceased. I think this was
And the tablet over there,
Yeah.
that looks very intriguing as well.
which one? This one?
Yeah.
This?
Yeah, this is the front of something of a statue. There would have been, look here, you can just see some little hands, and this would have originally had a figure behind it holding up this. It's called a stela, it's called a Stellaforus statue, and this has got on it a dedication.
So I noticed that you have provenance on some of the things.
Yes.
When you talk about Egyptian art in particular, like I could make that, couldn't I? And then try and pass it off to you as an original?
You could.
How do you, with them being so old, how do you know
Well,
for sure?
it's because partly one's used to the stuff that you deal with. You've been
Yeah.
dealing in it for
Right.
decades and
Yeah.
decades. So that's one way. You tend to end up with a feeling like, hang on a moment, I don't like this.
Exactly, yeah.
It could be an exceptionally good fake. For instance, somebody could take a mold of this, but then they'd have to pour into that mold a substance which would be different. So it would weigh
Right.
less, it would be plaster. You think this shouldn't be plaster, it should be limestone, it should be painted limestone. One of the other things is whenever somebody tries to fake an object, they always put in an element from their own time. And sometimes you don't really get that until decades have passed. So
Yeah.
stuff from the 1930s that have been made in the 1930s, they've got a faint Art Deco feel to them. They have a sense of Greta Garbo in the faces sometimes. And it becomes so obvious. The further away you get away, you think, how did anyone ever believe this? It's just obviously a modern piece.
That's why you can tell the difference between Egyptomania and actual ancient Egyptian. Yeah.
And there was stuff, sold in the 19th century as genuine Egyptian. By the middle of last century, it was laughable. Of course it isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people will make a fake, but maybe this has been reproduced in a book. Maybe it's been reproduced from one side or the
Right,
other as well.
right.
So they're able to make a
Part
passable
of it,
fake.
yeah.
But then they won't, more than likely, they won't have a picture of the back. So they won't really know how the back is finished. So they have to guess how the back is finished. And that's when your suspicions get aroused. You think, hang on a moment, this isn't
It doesn't
remotely
look
what
right
it should
yet.
be.
Yeah.
The other thing, of
course.
course, is that we work a lot with museums. So we talk to museums, we get their opinion as well, and sometimes they contradict each other. They'll say this is not right, or this is an extremely fine and rare example of a type that's very rare. So it's always intriguing field to work in. But it applies to any field.
Yep.
Of course.
How do you know that piece of English 18th century furniture is genuine?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Or that car, that vintage car. How do you know that carriage work is all from when it was first made? How much of it is restoration? This bottle of wine, which goes back to 1870. How do you the wine in it is,
Right, yeah.
every single area of the art world, wherever the raw materials are less expensive than an end product, you're going to get somebody who wants to fake it. Postage stamps, autographed letters, musical scores, garden statuary, jewellery, Chinese ceramics. Every single market is constantly being, should we say, attacked in a way is too strong a word. But every one of those markets is possible that somebody wants to fake something
Yeah.
to make a quick buck.
It's natural.
It's natural.
Yeah. Any other highlights in this collection? Everything,
Everything.
of course. Yeah.
So I do.
Everything's got something interesting about it. Here, for instance, it's not very obvious because it's very shallowly carved. But this is something. This is an Egyptian god. He's called the god Min, and one of his outstanding features is his erect penis.
I
It's not
see.
often you see that
Yeah.
in ancient art.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I feel like
Often, particularly in Egyptian. So you
Egyptian,
get
yeah.
Egyptian,
You
right?
get this guy with his todger out and up and proud. He's a god of fertility. A lot of gods of fertility are in fact female goddesses, but this one is a male god, and it's allied to the pharaoh and the productivity of the pharaoh. And there are different stories
Continuing the
about
bloodline.
him. Exactly, and one of his sacred symbols is a lettuce, because when you cut a lettuce, it oozes a white fluid. You ever seen it?
Yeah.
Well, similar to semen.
Like
So
a milkweed.
yeah. So you've got a very simple alignment there of lettuce, because the lettuces of ancient lettuces are very vertical.
Yeah.
So they
Not
I
round.
see.
a phallic sense. They're not like a crosswise.
Not the iceberg lettuce.
And then, they're not an iceberg. There's nothing icy about them. They're hot. They're hot guys. And it's connected with reproduction, which is very important. Your bloodline continues through. So
I assume after Egypt was invaded by European powers, a lot of that imagery was lost.
well, yeah, a lot. I mean, not even necessarily European. Islamic would not
Yeah,
take.
likewise, yeah, indeed.
A great deal of delight in
Right.
that necessarily.
Yeah. That's great.
So they were chiseled away. There's a very famous art historian from the early 20th century called Roger Fry. He was a member of the Bloomsbury Group, and he's talking about a relief of Min. And the only thing he doesn't mention is the penis. He talks about every other aspect of it, not the penis.
Why?
Because he was talking about significant form, about how the body is, blah blah blah. He didn't look at actually what it's all about.
Oh, that's
so
right.
this I think is a very sweet thing, and not only that, it's got a very nice
Ooh.
I
old
see.
label on the back,
Oh wow.
which gives part of its sort of modern
Yeah.
history. So it's just a very nice, attractive.
So now I've made a connection recently that I'm wondering if other lay people who are not as familiar with Egyptian art have made. The former owner of Downton Abbey's building, right?
Lord Carnarvon.
Yes, discovered King Tut's tomb.
Yes.
And there have been a few shows and a bit in the news about some pieces that had been discovered in the house when it was renovated and things like that. Because of that history and the house's popularity in culture today, has there been an increase in?
No.
Well, I think there should
Not
be.
as far as I'm aware, anyway.
I think there should be, and it's going to happen now.
Obviously, the whole story of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, is one of the great stories of the 20th century of exploration and of archaeology. And I remember being absolutely riveted by the book. I read and reread the book about the discovery, Howard Carter's, words, what can you see things, what kind of things, wonderful things, everywhere the glint of gold. It's absolutely fixed in my brain about 8 years old that this was just one of the most wonderful things, and it was one of the most wonderful things. If you look at the things that were discovered, they're absolutely extraordinary. It's not only the fact that there's technically an intact pharaoh's tomb from the 18th dynasty, which was one of the peaks of Egyptian art. Not just that those things existed, but this whole sense of the wonderment.
Right?
of the story and how it happened. And then there's obviously that stupid story about the curse of the pharaoh, and which is just so tiresome. I wish somebody would.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish it would
Debunk that.
die. I wish that particular curse could get its own curse and just disappear off. It's just a nonsense.
I assume also those type of stories might also attract certain buyers as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't ever think we've had somebody come in and say, we want something from Tutankhamun, which we wish they would, because we have something which has
fascinating.
the cartouche of Tutankhamun.
Do you know what? I have spoken to some.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, one or two who have said, have you got? And they have been looking for something.
Oh, wow.
Or that has. The thing is, obviously, you don't get anything from the tomb, but you get things with the cartouche
With the
of
cartouche,
Tutankhamun, or made during his reign.
Right.
Yeah.
And so those are on the market.
We've sold
of course,
ahead
that
of
really excites, and for anyone, especially I think for anyone who's just getting into collecting or into the world of Egyptology, it's a huge name. It's very romantic. The idea.
Yeah.
So it's often that is one of the first areas that people will channel towards. Same with Cleopatra. Do you have anything that was made during her reign, or has anything to do with her? Which there are a lot of Ptolemaic pieces. It's harder to get something, of course, of Cleopatra.
Of hers, right.
Yeah.
Of course.
I would like her headdress. If you find that somewhere.
A couple of rings.
Yes.
Here we have the obelisk of Cleopatra's Needle, but it was
course, which is
3,000.
not.
It was like 2,000 years removed from Cleopatra.
Yeah.
So something along those
Well,
lines.
there is that slightly corny fact that between us and Cleopatra is a shorter time period than Cleopatra to the building of the pyramids.
Yeah, exactly.
Which goes to show the depth of history of the Egyptian.
It's amazing.
And what's your oldest piece here? Touche.
I go back thousands of years. Our oldest piece is probably this pre-dynastic palette.
Yeah.
Which is again Egyptian. It's just this particular section is nearly all Egyptian, and I think that's about 3,000 BC.
Oh wow, plenty.
But of course, you can get hand axes. We haven't got any here, which go back 175,000 years.
Yeah, that's.
So it's old, and it's probably. I mean, it helps that outside. It says 5,000 years of art. This is the thing which gives the 5,000 years. Because it's, as I say, it's about.
Oh, wonderful.
So the tiny, I assume they're god figures, right?
The little ones here?
Yes.
Yes.
Would they be carried or
Well, they're
worn?
amuletics. So yes, they would be worn. So you can see the two smaller ones. There's the Tauret, who is a hippopotamus.
Yeah.
Figure here. She has a little
On the back,
on the back. She has a little loop suspension, and here we have probably a Sekhmet. She's a lion goddess, and these were used for they were apotropaic, so they were protective of you. The hippopotamus figure, obviously hippos are extremely fierce creatures, so you'd be taking on that ferocity. The ferocity of the hippo, of Tauret, the goddess, would be protecting of you, and particularly women in pregnancy. And then here we have this lion, cat-headed goddess. Again, there would be the ferocity of the lion that would be taken on.
Wow.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Thank you so
incredible.
much.
Incredible.
Wonderful
Thank you.
collection.
I'm gonna
Thank you
just
very
take
much.
a
Have a good
card,
Do?
if that's okay.
This is Martin, and I'll give you mine as well.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Awesome. Have a great day. And great show as well.
I should give you one of mine since you'll be on the video.
God.
Yes. Thank you.
I hope everything I say is true.
Thank you so much.
You did great. You did great. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about this stand right over here.
So we stopped here earlier to talk to Thomas Heniage, and he introduced us to the gold Cup of Montezuma, among other things in his collection. We saw and what is it? It's not a, I just forgot the name of it. The ring that I tried on is not a cameo, it's an intaglio.
Antinius.
Intaglio.
Oh, you're talking about the orange
not
one?
the symbol. No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
the first one.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
In Taglio, and he also has these incredible engravings from the 1800s, right?
Yeah, of the moon.
That were of the supposed surface of the moon. So imagine. Imagine traveling to the moon, and this is what was on the surface.
And one little
So Thomas
anecdote.
is getting ready. Yeah.
One little anecdote about this is that Pizarro, the Spanish conquistador, was offered a drink with this cup, and instead of drinking it, he just threw it away. Pissed off the Incas. Awesome.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Thomas.
You don't want it out of the cabinet.
No.
Oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
no worries.
Not all the way to 69.
Okay.
Come back when you can.
So the other thing that I'm really fascinated
Yeah.
by is this tapestry
Okay.
here on the wall. So if
Right
you
here.
swing around,
Wow.
this tapestry. Now, if you want to like take in the whole thing, I'm 5'8", so this is how big the tapestry is.
tall,
And it's
yeah.
like an op art tapestry by Victor Vasarely. And I just love the gold thread. If you can get close, the gold thread and the sort of ombre effect of the tapestry.
And it's not getting it so on the video well in the video, but it is shimmering.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. So it does feel like you're looking at a gold piece.
Well, and this too is where I would say primarily to everyone watching that this is the reason you come to an event like this rather than watching the video. Although I'm very glad you're watching the video. To see this, to be able to stand next to it, to see the back of those Egyptian pieces, to meet the people who work with these amazing items. It's something that you can't always capture, in looking at it in a photograph. This is so beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's take a look at these
Oh, yeah.
tapestries inside here. This is gorgeous.
And the carpet that you're walking on is so gorgeous.
Oh, this is
Like,
very
you can
gorgeous.
smell the wool. Can you smell the wool?
Yeah, I can smell it.
This one's lovely. This is lovely.
I know. This is same. This is Donegal wool. And so is this.
Oh, wonderful.
That's what I'm smelling. It smells so good.
Unlike the person inside it. No. So we cover from Gothic to pop art.
Oh, it's
And we try
interesting.
and sell things or show things that people don't see so regular.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rather than Persian, red and blue, I'll give you a discount.
I mean, I love this sort of Art Nouveau type
This
pattern.
is Boise.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It's a recorded design, mainly made in Ireland for the English in Liberty's department store
Mm-hmm.
and craftsman stores here for Stickley. We used to sell these carpets. And this is the second largest one we've had of this design. Normally they come narrow and long. This is exceptionally wide. We've got an extra yard, 3 feet, say.
I see.
So the whole design's full.
Wow.
It weaves much better, and it's very good. One of them, we're just used as cheap carpeting.
Yeah.
They used to have the fireplace section cut out, thrown away, or there was a column in the corner. You'd have the
Yeah.
corner
You
missing.
cut around.
So
Yep.
they're
So luckily
very
this was a
lucky this is all the
full piece. Yeah.
Plus, this is a European concept to put. See, Orientals don't have it,
Right. They don't have a big border.
but here they do.
Yeah.
This is followed from the French.
Right.
Savona is to balance the center.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because the border is so
Anything
important.
made like that, European would have had the width added. See there?
Yep.
To balance.
Where does this piece come from?
This comes
is-
from a house of 1700 period, Eston Neston, which is Prince Charles's favourite house in England.
Oh, wow.
Right? And this was a set of 4 tapestries. This is a very rare subject matter because different subject series were woven. So some were more popular than others. This is Mercury and Jupiter.
Yep.
Mercury and Jupiter, yeah. So it's only been woven twice as a set, this series. Okay?
This series,
Whereas
oh.
other series, hundreds were woven, like Triumph of the Gods, Alexander, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you notice here, it's going to have tapestry borders not there, it's a picture frame. This is tapestry border, right?
Got it.
Here they're trying to emulate woven painting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hence all the shading, etc.
Yep.
Careful you don't.
Oh yes, thank
So
you.
if you look, the figures are very small. This is made for an English country house. The English like smaller figures. If
Yeah.
this was woven for a European house, French or whatever, everything would be much more enlarged.
Rubenesque.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more so. But the English like detail,
Yeah.
landscape.
The landscape is gorgeous as well.
Yeah.
Where is it supposed to depict?
It's just an idyllic idea.
Idyllic,
If you look,
yeah.
there's some Greek statues, fountain. It's typical
Yeah.
English. This is
Looks very Mediterranean.
What are these two chatting about?
Yeah, indeed. Oh,
But the person who
In the
did
story in of itself.
landscapes designer is not the same as the person who did the figures.
I see.
So they're all recorded artists.
right.
And if you notice, everything is central.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
A lot of tapestries were woven for the rooms. Because the weavers would come, or the merchant, and he'd look, first thing they look is where the windows are. So they could shade the borders for light reflection. Or they knew where to put the silks for the light to reflect, okay, from the sun. Secondly, they'd look and see if you had furniture. This had no furniture in front of it. Normally, if you take the furnishings away, all the figures are one side or the other,
Yeah.
because if there's a cupboard here, there's no point putting figures behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And this costs money to weave this. The artist, the weaver for this is a skilled weaver compared to foliage. So you can see everything's uncovered. There's no clocks to go in front of it, wardrobes, etc.
So multiple weavers were working on this
Sure.
single
This
piece.
is
Wow.
woven this direction.
Yeah.
On a loom, obviously, you would turn around, roll the loom, up to shoulder's length, say. You'd have different weavers sitting, weaving across.
Is it silk?
Wool and
No,
silk.
wool and silk.
This is wool, but the highlights in there, you can see anything slightly shiny.
Yeah.
If you stand here, you can see it.
Yeah, I
It's
just
silk.
noticed that.
Beautiful.
But if this is 1700 period, fantastic colour.
Yeah.
Hasn't faded
Oh,
because
yeah.
they used
No,
very expensive
looks
dyes.
new.
Yeah, the dyes. It's like buying, say, I don't go simplistic, Gucci tie as opposed to Chinese tie.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
Chinese tie in 10 years, there's no design. Gucci, you wash it 20 times, it's still there.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. And if a good notion, point to remember is color of the sky. If the sky color should be there, hasn't faded into a murky grey as they will all do.
Which a lot of the medieval tapestries usually,
They fade.
yeah, they fade into a gray.
This was made with less color, obviously. This is 1500 period, 1550. And the connection between this and the floor is that this is pre-Raphaelite carpet. They wanted to go to flat color, not to go into all the dimensional effect, which is here. All right. So
I
this
like
is-
the flat color.
This is the
Yeah.
Gothic. This is where it comes from. Gothic. Just flat color, two to three tones, and this is the same thing.
Beautiful.
But William Morris started this from. He started early.
Oh, William Morris. Oh, wow.
But this is Boise. It came after Morris.
And the one on the wall outside is
The one on the wall outside.
exceptional.
Right. The thing is, the first Vasarely capture I bought was in 1991. Okay?
1991,
It wasn't
wow.
very popular then. But now, in the last few years, it's all rocketed because of the exhibition they had in France in the Pompidou Centre. They don't all work as op art images, okay? Because in the Mobilier National, there's identical of this, design and colour, made for the floor. It doesn't work because it's wool, pile,
Right.
and you can't really walk on an op art image. It should be
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
why
makes
this
sense.
looks so much
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Me being a purist, I was slightly put off by the metalwork because we know wool, carpet.
Right.
Yeah,
Wool.
go for it. Yeah.
But someone said, no, yeah, that makes it kind of a bit more dimensional.
Makes it special.
And
Yeah,
what are the
maybe.
materials used for this one?
Wool, this is
Wool.
wool. Each one's a different shade and metal thread.
Oh,
Not
I see.
gold.
Not gold. Yeah, yeah. It looks like it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That would be taking it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
this is the earlier
Yeah.
breathings, because there was two workshops. Tabar, who was early in the 60s, and Fifon, who followed later in the 70s. So this is an early piece, numbered.
Beautiful.
Numbered,
Right.
with the signature of the
Well, and
etc.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Gorgeous collection.
If you need any images or anything, I can send.
Okay. Have you got a card? Can I take a card?
So as you can see, there is a large variety of different pieces in this winter show, from tapestries to also globes.
That's the trouble, because with their interesting items, we end up chatting for 2 weeks.
It's good though.
Yeah,
It's good. Thank you, Arto. Thank you. Oh, this is the globe collection.
Look how beautiful it is.
Globalization.
Yeah.
The globes.
See what we did there?
Yeah, great punch.
All the globalization of globes.
Which one is the oldest of the bunch?
Oldest.
The oldest?
Yeah.
It's not one, it's a two. Well, this is
okay.
the oldest, isn't it? This is 1540, 1550. That's seriously old.
Oh,
And then we've got 16.
Zodiac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a fretted globe, so this is obviously God's view. So it's from looking outside this universe here.
Yeah.
And then these are pretty early too. They're made by the same people as this. So that's originally 1602, although that edition is 1621.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Gorgeous collection.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
actually, majority of the small ones come from one collector.
Oh, for one collector.
Yeah.
Well, what country of origin?
Well, he's actually American. He's a Texan.
Oh, interesting. And what materials are they usually made of? With wood, but other materials?
The construction of globes is so complicated. This is why they were always expensive.
I see.
Oh, actually, Ellen, where's the Blau price list? Can we have that in the... You didn't bring it in the end? Oh, I don't want to sell it, but I don't want to have it here. I don't want to sell it. We bought, the guy who made these and these,
Yeah.
Blau, we had the only printed copy of his price list, what he charged for them at the time.
Oh, I see.
And so we know what each one of these got. They were really expensive. And that's because they're made from like a fretwork base, which is then covered in papier-mâché, to make the ball, which is then covered in plaster of Paris. Then separate from that, on paper, using copper engraving, the globe gauze, the little sort of Satsuma segments, are printed. They are then coloured by hand. They're then laid over the ball. Then the whole thing is varnished, and that just makes you your ball. Then you have to put the pins in the top to
Yeah.
make the thing, then make the stand, and then put the whole thing together.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
And
no
then-
wonder.
and with the miniature globes, you often have these shark skin cases.
And what were those for?
Those are
To keep the world safe.
to keep the globe safe. It's Google Maps in your pocket.
Yes.
But then
travel map.
they use the inside of that
Yeah.
to show the solar system, so you can see the celestial globe on the inside. The opposite of that,
Right.
which is that they wrap round, and so it's showing the inside-out stars. And that's usually shark or ray skin.
Oh, I see.
So do you have a
Shark
travel
skin,
globe
that's
that you carry
impressive.
around with you to show people, like, this is an
Is that a globe in your pocket?
right?
And then this,
I always carry one with me everywhere I go.
I'm curious about this map over here of the United States.
So yeah, this is arguably the most important map of the United States ever made.
Ooh, why is that?
This was the map that was used in the Treaty of Paris to make you a country and all that.
Fascinating.
And
Oh, I love
this
it.
Is an example
After
where
you.
you can see the idea, the concept of manifest destiny
Yes.
on here.
Yep. Here we
Go
go.
west, my son.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't bother with making an end of the map.
There was no end to the ambition.
There was no end.
And where was this displayed originally?
In France.
Well, this one actually comes from a Scottish collection.
Scottish,
Wow.
oh, interesting.
I can tell you that in this case, I can't always tell you where things have been.
Yeah, of
This is
course.
Scotland for most of its life in an aristocratic collection. We bought it from them.
I see.
This is a particularly lovely example because it's original colour.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were available in three formats, either as an atlas in sheets, or varnished and on rollers, which is what this one was, or lucid sheets, which you then mount as a wall.
Oh, wonderful. All right.
So what are the
showroom is about to close, so we gotta catch a
right,
few
it
more
is.
pieces. Yeah.
I was just going to ask what the dyes are.
Well, it varies. Usually, you don't really want to know what 18th century dyes are.
Okay.
Most of the pinks are made with beetle wings.
Oh, great.
Oh, I
Most
see.
of the yellows will be made with urine.
Sure.
And on the greens we made with cupra or copper.
Okay.
Interesting. Adds character to the map.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
Where can we find your? Do you have a showroom or?
We have two. We have one in London and one in New York.
Okay, great.
So we are in Berry Street, which is in St James's in London, and 64th and Madison in New York.
Awesome. What's your name?
Daniel Crouch.
Ariel. Nice to meet you. Awesome. Perfect. Daniel Crouch. Okay, so lead the way. We got have a speed through for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Whatever you would like to see. This was a wonderful show. So everyone, press that heart button for
We don't
Jenny.
have to speed.
Yeah.
We can just chill.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fine.
Up to you.
It's kind of amazing. These photographs and monkeys.
Oh,
Look at the monkeys.
that is very realistic. Photorealistic monkeys.
Oh,
Almost
and
human-like.
that.
I
Look
love
at the
this.
fairies.
So this is by John Anster Fitzgerald. Fairies, hordes attacking a bat. 1860s.
Wow.
Beautiful. This is something that you usually don't see in museums also. These paintings that depict more fantastical landscapes.
Well, and this is like what I was saying before.
Yeah.
If you have a feeling for something, right?
Yeah.
This obviously you love this. So if you're going to think about starting collecting, maybe $160,000 is not your starting point. But if it is, then this would be great. If you have
Yeah.
some feelings about this piece, then it can be yours.
Exactly.
Or the monkeys. I love the monkeys.
You do? Nice.
I just want to check. Oh, that's only $85,000.
Oh, all right, nice. And how do you know if a price is reasonable? I mean, I know you're not a buyer right now currently, but from your experience going to antique shows, what's your gauge
This
on
is
this?
not the kind of antique show where you're going to haggle, right?
We'll go through here, yeah.
So this is the kind of antique show that you speak to the vendor, you speak to the collector, you speak to the buyer,
Yeah.
you understand the provenance, and
So
based
you-
on their research.
Let me pause you there. You
Yeah.
said the word provenance
Yeah.
many times. What does that mean?
Excuse me.
Let's move away from the music.
Oh, we've got some Marvin Gaye happening.
Yeah.
Awesome. Excuse me. So provenance is like the history of a piece or the authenticity of a piece, like the birth certificate of a piece. Did we go down this way?
But we didn't go at the end, so
Oh yeah,
let's go.
can we cut through?
Yeah, let's
maybe?
cut through.
We're gonna try to cut through. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Provenance.
Suffering with this little cold.
As you were saying?
So it's sort of like the birth certificate or timeline of a piece of art or a piece of furniture.
Yeah, speaking of furniture. I just love
you're
chairs.
like a mid-century modern guy.
I love chairs. Oh yeah, I would say yes.
And here's an actual pair, so you could get a pair rather than a single in the other. So then the provenance is the history or maybe the timeline of a piece of furniture, who owned it, where it was created, is there a label, is there a tag, is there a record of it being created by the house design firm or the design house. The provenance is what's going to tell you that it's authentic.
I see.
And not everything has a provenance. I think there's a new show actually on Netflix called Faker of Fortune, and it's really fantastic where they find pieces of art and they have to prove that they're real. And there isn't always a provenance with personal collectors, that things get lost. And so it's fascinating. It really is fascinating to kind of figure out, is it real or is it not?
That is fascinating, yeah. Oh, that's why you were asking those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. These chairs
These are great.
gorgeous. These are works of art.
I like this.
A good chair is very important in life. Oh yeah, nice lounge. Wow.
So there is like two more unique things, and then we could probably head on out.
Yeah, go for it.
One, I love this piece right here.
Oh, he's strangely proportioned.
Strangely proportioned is a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Where he's
He can't get out of his way for
Yeah.
No.
The Indians look just like this when painted. Catlin. He's a very famous Western painter.
It is
interesting.
fantastic.
Yes.
It's exactly what cats do too. Just knock things off the table and
And he's also
That's-
he's got the right on his. You can see his claws coming up.
Oh, that's. He even captured the
Yeah, he has
needle
the
and
claw
thread.
stuck on the string.
What's the name of the painter?
George Catlin.
George Catlin.
Possibly
Oh,
the first one out west.
there we go.
Well, Bodmer and Catlin, those two are the big ones.
I see.
But he painted all the
awesome.
Missouri tribes.
cool. I didn't know that.
Beautiful painting above. Wow.
Yeah.
He's a modern. I mean,
Modern,
he's in the 20th century, which I don't deal in, but it was so cute. I had to have it.
He is really cute.
Yeah.
Here with friends. Here with friends is what it's
That's my
called.
title.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had.
love it.
How'd you get up here, or do you fly?
What are you doing here?
That would be a great
Yes.
title as well. Do you fly?
Wow, you have such unique pieces. I
Oh, yeah.
love this one with the light in it. This is fantastic.
Don't pay attention to that. That's one of my favorite pieces in the move thing.
This is one of your
shocked that you-
favorites?
that's-
What? It's amazing.
I don't want to talk about this yet. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, of course.
What
yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
This is from the gold mines of California
Oh,
in
wow.
1850s.
Yeah.
This ship went down, and that's what they recovered.
Oh, wow.
And the coins are 1857 S's from San Francisco.
From San Francisco. Wow.
That's a real gold bar?
Yeah, it's $2.5 million.
Nuh-uh.
Oh yeah, 2.4. I'm sorry.
Well, 2.4, this is a great place to start collecting. If you really want to jump in, this would be it, right? Both
A lot
feet.
of people jump for that.
Yeah, makes sense. And were other gold bars recovered from that wreckage?
500 of them, but they were
500.
different sizes. This
Yeah.
is the third largest one ever.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So let's say I am a collector and I want to take this home with me.
Wait a minute.
What's the ideal
To pick it up,
weight?
it's so concentrated.
Right.
It's like 55, 60 pounds. So you
Okay.
it's disastrous to pick it up.
So how do you is this how you would display it at home? Would you? Is it a doorstop? Is it a? I guess it's whatever I want it to be,
You could
right?
display it this way. I love it.
Okay. When this was first constructed, I mean,
Right.
when it was first made, it was probably a value of about 5 to 10,000.
Right.
I mean, if you happen to be good enough to last about 150 years, you're guaranteed a profit.
Yeah, indeed. You are. Yeah. Gold
Yeah.
never decays in value.
It's, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Did you see the page outside?
Really?
No, what
cool.
page?
Show you. This is,
Yeah.
this is, no.
I like how your
Whatever.
pieces are all about light. There's light in every single
African
one of them.
Free school. Oh,
It's amazing.
fascinating.
What?
This is the first school for African Americans in America.
Wow.
This is the beginning of the school system for the poor slaves
Was
in
it-
New York City.
In New York City? Not
Yes.
in Beaufort, South Carolina?
No, it was
No.
Hester Street, New York City.
Was it?
Yes,
Fascinating.
here, you can read it, yeah.
African Free School.
Yeah.
There it is.
And this is their charter? Their
This is the sale
the
of the
sale.
property
The sale of the
to build
property.
a house.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Wow.
Thought
Well,
you'd like that, huh?
Yeah.
that's wonderful. It's so well kept as well. You can
If
still
you
read the
don't get
reading.
you don't get the scoop, you just walk by it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Did you walk by that thing?
Yes.
Yes, this one we saw.
Losers, come
I
here.
did. We walked right by it. There was an issue with the something happened. Yeah.
This is
This. That's what it found like now, because it's not.
Ascension? No. What? What's happening?
This looks like
The master light of all I've seen.
this,
Michelangelo Buotti, Leonardo da Vinci,
Oh, it's-
Raphael, Mozart, Handel, Beethoven, Gilberto Doors, Milton, Shakespeare.
he got everyone.
Homer, David, Sappho, Dante. Everybody's in here.
Why have School of Athens when you can have this? just twice as
This
more
came
people.
out of the school. John Hopkins didn't know
Yeah.
what this was.
Oh,
and
I
he
see.
sold it in a small sale, and I bought it.
Oh, fascinating.
Wow.
So I advertised it. For I was blind, and now I see. Because when I first looked at it, I said, well, what is this? I was blind, and then now I deciphered
Now-
it.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great show.
Are you coming tonight?
No.
Tonight, no, just today.
Have a great weekend.
You're from.
We're press. We're press
Oh.
people. We're press people.
I run
impression
I
me.
run Urbanist. Yeah,
Is
Urbanist. I cover history.
oh.
Yeah, history of cities all around the world.
love
Yeah.
this.
And
Yeah,
I cover
like this.
art and culture.
Yeah.
So we partner on, yeah.
It's a match. It's a shoe-in.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Nice
Have a great weekend. Okay,
Wonderful. So,
So-
let's wrap up.
pretty amazing.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
It's the winter show. If you cannot make it to New York this weekend, put it on your list for next year. It will be the 67th year, and everything you can imagine. A great entry point to collecting, a great way to see and learn
Yeah.
more about art and antiques than you could probably normally do.
Oh, we.
Oh yeah, we missed all the armor.
One more.
Let's show this.
Pause
Oh,
here for
the
1 second.
Japanese armor.
Wow. Truly a huge variety of different pieces
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
and great characters. I'm really liking antique people.
Yeah, yeah. They-
Like I've been to art shows and I've been to other types of trade shows. Sometimes people tend to be a little bit more reserved, but here there's
Oh,
stories.
It's because they're so passionate about what
Yeah.
they collect and what they buy, and they're just ready and waiting to talk to you about what they love best about their booth or what they're showing. It's cool.
All right, now let's show the hallway of
Yeah.
the
And we're gonna-
armory.
We're gonna head out.
Yeah.
We did see the Hispanic Society
We did.
Museum
yeah.
and Library.
Oh,
Really cool. Did we
actually
do a
did.
did we
Hold
do
on.
a quick swan through that?
let's just show it real quick. No, we did not. Only
then
in
we'll head
360
out.
video. Yeah.
Really great eclectic collection, all different types, everything from Iberia to every Spain, every
Yeah.
Spanish-speaking nation is represented.
Indeed. Yeah. What? Oh. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the badge.
Batch.
The bags.
Oh,
Oh
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I wish I could have taken something, but I found a really cool painting, but that wasn't going to happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we do have to turn our badges in.
Yeah, that's it.
So, thank you. Okay.
Awesome. So let's show the hallway and then we'll
Show the
wrap
hallway.
up.
Show the staircase. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We will.
I will show. And we'll end right here. Look at this. So I highly recommend also coming to the armory if you can. Jenny, thank you so much for showing us around.
Oh, thank you.
That was amazing.
This is amazing. And again, put the winter show on your list. It's one of the best events.
I really enjoyed it. This is my first ever antique show. Well, outside of like going to flea
Yeah.
markets and stuff like that, but this is the first official antique show I've been to, and it exceeded my expectations times 10. I didn't come with high expectations, and I was absolutely blown away. I had such a blast talking to everyone here.
Yeah, so cool.
Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring.
Bye, everybody.
Let's do a wave. Bye-bye.